Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to A Link to the Past Randomizer League. Today we have Missing Two Bows, Ray 07 versus Noble Fox Academy's Krithel. This is a mystery seed. If you feel like all your other seeds were just very predictable in the previous weeks, say no more. We got something for everybody today. I am Esper Hub as your commentator. Along with me is Koval. Nice to have you with me.
Nice to be here with you together. My first commentary in English. So I hope I do my best with my English knowledge. And you, yeah, what can I say? Stay here and
that's fine. You'll do just fine.
That's great. So I see at the start we have an anonymizer. So at the moment, not exactly. It's a bus shuffle or a full anonymizer. So I'm so excited of the race, and it could be everything.
Yeah, one of the first beginning hints that you'll get in the game in a mystery seed is your start screen. Usually, if you see like some items lit up, that means you already have them on hand to use immediately. And of course, the bottom part of the screen where you see the word kill and the text along there, you can tell if it's an anonymizer of some sort. And we're underway.
And we start on the Krithel side. So we can see it's an inverted seed at the beginning. And we have the flute.
Flute at the very start. This is good for them, especially for inverted. Allows them to get to and from places very quickly, and not only that, but allows them to get to a few key areas that they may have to get into later on. But yeah, flute start is pretty good, especially for inverted. But usually with inverted, that means you start in the dark world instead of the light world. And the moment you get into the light world, you need the moon pearl. Otherwise, you just transform and you won't be able to do much in there. It's kind of like flipping the states.
Yeah, it's a seed that could be fun if you can handle it, but not a good mode for beginners, I would say, because there are so many enemies that can kill you immediately. And so, yeah, you should be a good runner for this mode. So I see Ray went immediately to Skullwoods, farms a few bombs for the start, and can do some checks with Hype Cave or something else.
Speaking of how much damage that the enemies can do in the dark world, as we see on Krithel side, taking an early death, yeah, this is one of the things that my co-commentator comment about being very careful with this kind of inverted state. Enemies do a lot more damage, especially when you do not have male protection.
I have to say I love the inverted mode, so you have to think difficult to run through the seed, and so yeah, it is fun sometimes, and sometimes it's annoying that the enemies kill you immediately. So yeah, you need good skills for it.
One thing to do that we should mention though, like during the progression for these two, we see that Ray ended up getting a glove, so that's obviously in Skull Woods. While in the Thieves Town dungeon, Krithel pulled out an ice rod, so let's keep that marked up for later reference, because those two might be important. Well, we already know gloves is important, but maybe ice rod will be the requirement just in case there is an a boss shuffle going on here. There could be like 5 Tranexes in this seed.
So I can see Skullwoods has 2 gloves in it, and that is a great start. So if we found early the Moon Pearl, we have an early Light World access in this case. So it could be maybe a very fast seed this time.
Krithel taking deaths on purpose to farm some more bombs, just so they can get enough to do some more overworld exploration with them. But yeah, I agree. Tight like the 2 minutes from the very beginning, very early in this game. Not only that allow you to get to the Death Mountain as well as Eastside Death Mountain. Well, wait, you will still need a hook shot though as well, but I kind of forgotten that. But we're in inverted, so I think that mirror is required as well as hammer or
Yeah,
hook
and
shot.
so I can see we have the small keys in the dungeon, but the big keys are shuffled. So we have the big keys of Desert Palace and Palace of Darkness. And so I can see Turtle Rock is a pendant. Did I miss something?
No, you have not. But yeah, it doesn't seem like Turtle Rock may be required for this seed. They may have to dip into that dungeon in order to get whatever's in there for their progression. But that's still a little bit too early to call here. They still gotta like sniff around to see what clues this mystery has in store for them.
So now we see the typical inverted mode checks. First, to take bombs, and then hype cave with 5 items in there. Then the typical way, in this case, with Titans, you can walk to Stumpy, go to the digging game, and back to Village of Outcast. If you have enough money for the digging game, that's a special thing the many runners forget, that you need 80 rupees to do this game. So you can a good round, come back to Village of Outcast, do another check. So here Ray found a sword. Yeah, it couldn't be better.
Yeah, as the chat was discussing, Light World Death Mountain, you do need a mirror to at the very least get into there, but you also need the hookshot or hammer, because with hammer you can at the very least go to at least Tower of Hereside and go through the hammer, use the hammer through that way to get to the east side of Death Mountain, or a hookshot to go to the bottom right part of Death Mountain. But as we see here in Myers Shed, we're taking a look at these checks and we get some more arcane from Krithel. That is very good this early at the very least. Having that will allow you to do a few key areas in the dungeon, but more importantly, be able to do Icebreaker Glitch with ease with that will allow you to get through the Ice Palace dungeon at the very least in the fastest way possible.
So I don't know if Ice Palace makes sense at the moment. So you can, in logic, get one item with the Fire Rod or Bombus Medallion. So at this time, yeah, the Icebreaker is a cool thing to get through, but not at the moment. It make no sense if you have no hammer to clear it directly.
Yeah, that is true. As we see Ray going over the tracks that Krithel have made. Krithel, on the other hand, is doing the money game, making quite good use of his shots, getting all that money. Well, that's one thing to also remember. Money is always like a required logic, so to say, in these runs. You need to have enough money for digging game, chess game, paying off the the bottle merchant, Zora, getting into the pod, and probably a few other safeties as well. So it never hurts to get that get that money going early, especially if you need to do a few checks that requires it.
Yeah, that's bad, but we can see the Digi game has nothing for the runners at the moment. So it's such a waste of money. That's everything. So Ray will do the bow game and do the same thing with Krithel. And I see we have a hard mode, probably. So 20 rupees, 20 green rupees is a typical sign of hard or expert mode. So it could be our first mail. So in a hard mode, you can find 3 swords and 1 shield, no mail. So in the hard mode, in the expert mode, sorry, you found 2 swords, and in both modes, no silvers.
Yeah, that's very, very unfortunate because inverted hard mode can be very painful to navigate through, especially at the start of it, unless you're very accustomed being careful or knowing what enemies you have to deal with and having the necessary items for it.
They have a sword, so they can defeat themselves. So that shouldn't be a problem. So we can see Krithel at the mountain bring back the old man in his cave.
Only for 20 rupees. That's kind of unfortunate.
Yeah, but he can see what's on the mountain here in Spectacle Rock, on the Spectacle Rock, and that could be some necessary informations, maybe.
Yeah, it'll be good information to have. Hopefully, there's progression within Spectacle Rock. Otherwise, well, there's okay.
So,
Well, Lantern. That's our light. That's gonna be our light source for now, which is actually a good thing.
so we know Aga is required. So we have a sword. We have now the lamp. So
What we're missing left is Moon Pearl, I believe, right?
yeah, it's true. But maybe they can get some information. How is the goal is, what they need to defeat Ganon or to go into the GT in this case.
Krithel taking the wrong warper over there, but more likely probably going to check into Pod right now, which is probably the next good play. Ray checking Bumper Cave to do, or they did check Bumper already. Yeah, it looks like it, but yeah, they're going to go the same route with the mountain to more likely get led to the lamp, which they'll most graciously take because they're going to need that, unless they know how to handle dark rooms very well.
So Krithel has in this case here in pot maybe in the first chest is an item or a small key to get behind in pot. So maybe he could go to the pyramid. There lies the item, or for the gloves to catfish. So that's the options they have.
And there's our moon pearl. So, with that, I think that is their access to Light World. Unless they, well, wait, they still need a hammer. I just now noticed that Krithel does not have the Golden Titan mint, so I wonder why was that? I wonder if they didn't check Skull Woods deep enough in order to get to it, because it was within the first part of it, most likely in the mummy room.
So Krithel use now the bottle glitch to get off the bow-locked side to check out what there is. But it isn't in logic, so maybe he can't find any progression what he want to find.
I, for one, welcome
No.
this logic breaking, especially with the seeds being this mean, with hard mode inverted.
It could be a little bit risk, so it could be a little bit waste of time. Maybe he is lucky and find some special things. So everything is possible in Rando.
That is true.
So
He did end up getting a key from there, so not a huge game, but he can continue to progress deeper into the dungeon if he wants to. That all depends. Like, do you keep going deeper in this case, or would you go ahead and just leave out and go, well, that didn't work out. I'm going to go ahead and check the other areas just so I can go back into logic with that skip.
So we found the moon pearl in pot in the first chest. So I would go to Aga immediately and go to the light rod, check the goals, and check the rest of the light roll side. So should be probably better, but not the rest of pot. But I could be wrong. I don't know.
Well, hopefully, with the decision to going deeper into pod, Krithel is hopefully on the track to getting something very huge here. If not, then that's just one dungeon that just kind of squared away, ready to be plucked for its crystal once you get the hammer. I think in mystery hints are disabled. Don't quote me on that one though. But yeah, from Super Money Hop Cave. Huh.
So
Hopefully you get something. Well, wait, now I was gonna say hopefully you get something from Hookshot Cave, and then I realized, oh wait, we ain't got no hookshot to begin with, nor we don't even have the boots to even get to the first chest of it. So, and these checks that Ray are doing, I'm not sure if I can agree to doing it this early, especially without Moon Pro, but it could work.
so we know where the moon pearl is. So it could be good, but it could be a bad thing. So
And as we see on Krithel side, Krithel pulled up the flippers. That is kind of huge there because Swamp is definitely a crystal to clear out. That's one more piece that they got to get closer to attaining that.
oh, that's bad. Ray died on Light Death Mountain. He wanted to check the floating island, and
Turtle Rocks.
yeah, that's not a good thing. So now he's in my area and have no idea what it lies in pot on the first chest. That's bad.
To be honest, this may be a good thing because that death could steer him towards the pod to begin with. I feel like after this Meyer check, he may end up going to there.
I'm wondering why Krithel doesn't go to Aga at this moment. So
More,
he has everything he need. So I'm a little bit wondering.
I think, in the mentality for most runners, they will find themselves very adamant into not doing AGA because AGA feels like a time waste, even if it is required. Someone spoke it. Someone else from another reach, one of the other commentators quoted this as well, saying like, even if that is required, you may end up like finding the necessary items that doesn't require AGA to go through, and I think that's what our runners are hopefully gambling on, like AGA 1 not being required entirely. They can exhaust all their checks at this point, and then if all else fails, they'll just go ahead and do it. But as we see here, Krithel's already going in, doing the gauntlet to get to Aga's to get to the top of Aga's tower.
Yeah, but I'm wondering why Ray doesn't check pot at the moment. So it's a fast check. He can do it with the first chest. But he decided to go back to Light Death Mountain to check the floating island and find out it was 20 rupee and nothing. So what will he do?
He may be going towards pod now. Well, no, he's not going towards pod now. He may be. Oh, he's going to turn into blacksmith, I believe.
Wow. That is.
I am completely new to inverted, but I feel like blacksmith is nowhere near the desert unless.
Yeah, he want to walk all the way to Kakariko to bring Smith back. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this one makes sense.
I'm definitely confused about.
He's going. Yeah, he's going the long way around to get to Kakariko Village in order to turn into blacksmith. But wouldn't you just have to go to the warp tile that's in the village of Outcast if that's the case, especially since you have Titan's Mint?
Yeah, but you can use the Titan Smith in the bunny state. He has to take the long way.
Oh, okay, right.
Back to Kakariko.
Yeah, you can't live without the ruin, bro. I completely forgot about that.
But he wastes so much time with this way. I don't know if that was a good idea in the bunny state. Go through all the way to take the Smith back.
Hopefully. Oh, and then it's just a heart, so it's absolutely nothing that he can really get from there. Hopefully, Sick Kid will have some for him since he has a bottle. He might check post bottle merchant as well if he's able to talk to him, right?
Yeah, in the bunny state, you can talk with the NPCs. So they give you the items. So you can't use any items at this time. But to talk to them isn't a problem. But
All
yeah,
those checks came up nothing, unfortunately. So that risk may end up making him causing him to fall further behind. I would like to think he's going to check pod now. Hopefully, no other miscellaneous checks now after this. Yeah, there we go. He's
yeah.
making the sensible play now.
Finally, finally. So this is his own check. He has to do it. There are no other possibilities except a catfish, maybe. So you can reach it with the gloves, but yeah,
It takes a while for it to get to that one isolated check, though, especially from Palace of Darkness.
yeah, that's right. So on the race side, we see now the pot check, and Krithel has defeated Aga, and now we see the goal. So we need all 7 crystals to enter GT Aga entrance. But he forgot the other shield to read. There is a shield on the other side with the goal for Ganon.
Oh yeah, this other sign. Okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, for inverted, there's 2 signs in Hyrule Castle that you can check. One of them will tell you how many crystals that you need to get into the inverted Ganon's Tower. The other one being how to win the game, and I feel like that part is the more important one to actually check first. It's just I don't know where the location of that sign is. I wonder if it's on the right side. Is it?
Yeah, and we saw there's a hole in that, so we have fast Ganon, so the runners haven't
Yeah.
do GT for Ganon, so if they have the goal and the swords, so they can go immediately to the big blue pig to make schnitzel.
And doing the first escape sequence of Hyrule Castle, yielding nothing, unfortunately. It seems like a digital death is going to be made here by Krithel in order to get back to the entrance of the castle, in order to do more checks. As we see in Rayside, Blind Tut having the Master Sword. That is huge, by the way.
And the Bombos medallion, so that could be a big help for him.
Especially without a fire rod, if he has to go in the Ice Palace, that will be his main use to kill any of the ice-based enemies here, as well as melting Cold Stare. Well, not like Cold Stare, right? Yeah, Cold Stare. And we get the boots at the secret passageway.
Oh, Ray is definitely happy about this found. The boots is his most favorite item in this game. So when he found it, then I see a happy face in my head.
Yeah, Boots is Boots is one of those items that if you're playing very early into the seed will make a huge difference in your time as to traveling across different parts of the map. And
Did
as
you
we see is our goal, 7 crystals are required to beat Ganon, so they are all going to have to do all those dungeons.
Oh, that needs time.
Yeah, we're in for the long haul, ladies and gentlemen. Gonna have to get comfy, get a few more snacks. 7-7 is what we're doing today. We
So
have. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
no problem. So we see now the typical light world checks of both sides. So Krithel here in the dam and sunken treasure. So I got it. And Ray go through the light world. Kakariko and here K45 and go through to the dam and mini molten cave, and I see K45 has the bow.
Yeah, that's gonna open
That's
up a lot of things, more particularly Pod and Eastern. Those are in a beat. Well, besides Pod, Eastern is definitely in a beatable state now, thankfully enough. And we just need to look for that hammer now.
that could be interesting where it lays. So maybe in Ice Palace it would be a funny place for the hammer. No one likes that.
That would be disgusting. That's even disgusting for my taste.
For the most of the runners, I would say. So now let's have a look at Mini Molten Cave. The new hype cave in this case, maybe.
And from here, what do we get from our NPC? Some bombs, rupees, mushroom that could lead to something, and a piece of heart, and some arrows. Unfortunately, not the most ideal for it to be in. I guess if you call it the inverted high cave, it must be the snore cave at this point.
Yeah, but not at this time. Only the mushroom. It could be something behind, but it has to.
And with that mushroom though, they can use that to fake powder since they have some more arcane. So they can pay a visit to Magic Bat once they get the hammer. As we see in the ice cave, just a whole heart, which is actually a welcome sight at this point, especially if we're going hard mode route where you don't have a male whatsoever. You need as many. If you're not really confident into like dodging and evading enemies' attacks, having a bunch of health will help circumvent that. As we see Krithel doing water walking, which they really didn't need to do, but they have the flippers after all, but it's faster that way. I agree, it's faster that way with the boots.
Yeah, that's true.
Ray is retracing the steps that Krithel have made into the escape sequence, so more likely than not, they will. After this, they will go ahead and
he prepared a death warp, but
didn't take the chest afterwards, which is bad. Now he feels like he has to go back to get it, but I would be surprised if he leaves. He's going sewers. So it's actually good in this case because I believe that chest was just a map, so he's not missing much.
I hope he realized that if he go through the castle back of his cape and find some other stuff, so he realized that
That
he
map is not
don't
that. Yeah,
yeah
he
he
doesn't have
don't
to go
get
back.
he don't find the map, so he hasn't go back the whole way. So
Krithel with the waterfall checks didn't really yield much, but Fairy was kind enough to give him a green potion, and that's pretty good in my opinion, at the very least. Better than a B, to be honest.
no. So Krithel takes the next big key. He got one for Hera now. He got another one for Ice Palace. So if the chest have an item, it would be great. But to clear the dungeon isn't necessary.
And now that Ray is finally out, I hope he pieced it together that map was in Zelda chest after all. Bren probably letting out a sigh of relief after that, but it looks like Krithel is he turning again? He looks like he's turning into mushroom. I don't, actually, you know what? This may be fine. Who knows? Maybe it's progression. But if it's not progression, I hope he doesn't hard reset because then he had to do all the stuff all over again.
So red meringue.
Travels twice the distance as the blue one. Can be pretty useful sometimes. Other people prefer blue. Some people prefer red. I think both are fine.
No, red are better. Definitely.
I'm pretty sure a few people in the chat is gonna disagree with you there, but I'm not gonna touch on this topic. I know how heated this can get.
So now Ray, check lumberjack. In this case, maybe.
Maybe we'll see if Aga. Well, Aga's definitely. Well, no, Aga. It was not required from the looks of it, but
No.
10 arrows.
Yeah. Not required.
Yep. And this is probably the reason why most of the races are like adamant into not doing Aga 1 very
So
early in the scene.
so you can see Ray saved lots of time with his blade to found the Titansmith. So Krithel didn't found it.
Yeah,
So
Krillin didn't travel deeper in the Skull Woods, and I think that's the reason why he went to do Aga 1. That may
yeah,
be the reason.
that's true, but that was a good thing for Ray. So we can he could save a little bit time for his other checks. He did. So we see now
Going to step right into the ice cave, and he's going to be very disappointed in what he's going to find. He does have enough resources, so I'm going to guess if he's going to fake flipper it to there, he may end up doing all of the flipper checks from there.
yeah, I think he take the water or not.
He can still fake flipper it from there. He just got to do a little elaborate screen transition to do so.
Yeah. But I think water walk was a little bit faster.
Yeah, Water
Or
Walk
do
will
I miss
definitely
something?
be faster in this case, especially since now they have boots. But it doesn't look like he's going to do that at the case because he got to go to Mini Mort, which will be the inverted hype cave for if all of us remember what happened with Krithel.
So I think Ray will go to desert to Aegina's cave in this case. So it looks like for the water walk or the fake flipper, he can take the flute back to the point and can do it in this case, and he hasn't do a save and quit. It could save a little bit time.
Correction, this isn't exactly Aga required, but we do have a 7/7 quotation marks fast Ganon on our hands here.
Hmm? Ray got the mushroom and go to the witch immediately in the
Well,
hope. This is a typical way for him. If he found the mushroom, immediately to the witch, give her the mushroom, check out what the item is. Yeah,
well, he's
this
gonna
is
get
Ray.
his red ring.
So Ray, what are you doing?
He may end up. He may be going. Ray may be going to go do Eastern, from the looks of it, from the way he's moving. So yeah, we haven't had neither runner have stepped into Eastern Palace. They only dipped into Pod and I think Skull Woods and Thievestown. So we are definitely going to see what's going to be inside of Eastern. Hopefully, it'll have the huge items that we need as we get 320 rupees in the back of Saha's hut. Can I get a jackpot sound going?
So we have 9 hearts, so it can be expert mode, so it is in hard mode. Only in the hard mode you can find 14 hearts, so the runners can find 1 sword for Ray and 2 for Krithel. It could be interesting.
Yeah, it
And the
could be
runners.
interesting, but well, I agree with chat. Boss shuffle with the early ice rod. Yeah, I hinted about. Well, I didn't hint it, but I theorized that like that early it may be Trinex on the afoot in some of these dungeons, and I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. Especially since we got an enemynizer, and none of the enemies seem to be shuffled so far. We can only guess what kind of boss that we get this time, and I'm kind of afraid to find out.
I want to see Viti in back of Skull Woods on this room. That would be a very funny thing. I had it once in the past, and it was for me what it was a big fun to defeat him. For Ray would be a disaster.
At least he has the bow. At least Ray has the bow to deal with Vitri.
Yeah, but he needs definitely upgrades for this. But he has the cape. He has the boots, so that wouldn't be a problem for him in this case. So I think Witty in Back of Skull Woods wouldn't be a problem.
Now, what would be a problem is Armos and Skullwoods because they're moving full floor. Yeah, one of the jumping Armos may end up clipping into the wall, and then you have to wait for them to jump back into it, wasting more time. It's a mess.
Is it possible? Armor's Knight in Skull Woods?
I believe so. I've heard tales of it.
So I know not all bosses can be in all boss rooms. So Ray found the fire rod.
Trinex
So
will not be
maybe
an issue unless he runs out of magic, which he does not have a lot of.
yeah, that could be a problem.
Here's hoping he ends up getting lucky with a full magic at some point before this fight. But even then, Trinex may not be in here, and that may be a good thing.
We will see. Yeah, Trinex with Master Sword and not enough magic. It's not a funny thing. I trained it in the past, and I know you can do one shot missing.
You can only miss like 1 or 2 shots at most. After that, you just need to quit. Oh, we get more One-Eye Morty over here in the Eastern Palace dungeon. This is probably the easiest Mort because there's no pits whatsoever. Thank goodness.
Yeah, that's right. Ray has his bottle with green goo, so he should be enough magic for Trinex.
But with that Mort down, that's actually our first crystal of the game attained. 6 more to go for Ray. Krithel not falling too far behind as Krithel is making his way to get to the boss, and he'll find out that it's Mort there, and it will be a pretty easy engagement. Also, probably going to end up getting Fire Rod unless they leave out that one boss chest. Well, the big key chest, which, okay, he is not. Thank you very much for doing that. There's no point in gambling this early in the game, especially when you do not have the progression needed to finish the rest. Ray on going into Dark Death Mountain, Hookshot Cave to do a bonk. More likely to also check what's going on in that one chest. Hopefully something good. I hope. No, just a piece of art. Who am I kidding? This randomizer seed has been nothing nice at all. Oh!
Yeah.
Oh, he is he? Okay, never mind.
No.
I was about to say, like, he is actually going to do some hovering technique, and I was about to lose my mind.
Yeah, he just try it sometimes, but not always. So he know this is a race, and maybe he feels behind. So he tries one times, and that's enough for him to say no. Maybe if he has the hook shot, then he go back. So first he a Paradox Cave with 7 chests in it. So that
this will be the better
maybe
idea to do, especially since you couldn't do it earlier in the game. So yeah, let's see what we have. This is the first time we see this chest reveal, right? Yes, we did. So we got a book.
A
Okay,
book.
that will lead us to some goodies. I hope. You get a whole heart and a big key to Turtle's Rock.
So now, here on Death Mountain, no, Spiral Cave in this case.
Spiral Cave, as well as perhaps he does have Fire Rod and some more Arcane. What is stopping this seed from saying, "Hey, go into Turtle's Rock. We got progression for you there." Oh, right, the hammer.
Yeah.
Unless hammer
And the mirror.
and the mirror, right?
That's important. But I can imagine the book could take him to Desert Palace so he can enter, and he found the third sword. That's great for him.
Hey, we take those. We take those in this kind of seed. We're not even gonna joke about this one. We take those.
So, and Krithel go through Town for the next crystal. So that shouldn't be a problem. He had enough hearts. He has a sword, but no hammer. So he has to leave a chest behind.
Yeah, he runs the risk leaving it behind, but it could mean a lot if it's just the compass or map, or some other rupees, some miscellaneous item. But yeah, it's a risk. But if it's able to fight, if the law of the items in this dungeon rules it that like any of the two dungeon items in there, he gets to save time, and not only that, doesn't have to worry about going back to it.
But it is a long way. Go back to the big chest. So we can hope there's nothing in there. So the runner has to go back for it.
Meanwhile, on Ray's side, ended up not finding a lot of stuff in there so far. For there's a palace, which can be a little bit ingrating sometimes, because you're wondering, like, where is all the goodies? You gotta give it to me, please.
A hammer would be nice. A hook shot.
Hook shot or hammer, you know what? Even the shovel, because then we can dig up the dig spot and then find one of the two items at this point.
Nope. A compass and 10 arrows.
As we see on Krithel side, in Thieves Town, Landos making its appearance. And that is the compass. So there is something definitely in the big chest. Hopefully when they find the hammer, they may go back to it. But if that's the case, then it's not going to really be worth it, perhaps. I would like to think that if Hookshot is locked behind hammer-locked Thieves Town big chest, I will quit this seed. I would legitimately do /FF on that one.
I had it once in the race, and I definitely forgot it. I had the hammer, and I looked every places I have to find the hook shot, and suddenly I remembered there is one chest in Town, and there was the hook shot, and that was my lost race.
And Krithel pulling up the top 10 most the top 10 anime betrayals as he pulls up his Titans Mint, realizing that he didn't need to do Agon 1. It's okay. I suffered through that very same fate on my my week 2 race of all things.
So we see Blind in Desert Palace.
It's actually really
Nice one.
generous. Yeah. And a very good clean fight from Ray. Able to mark that off the list. And we get our next crystal. So now let's see what dread is in this pit, because this looks like just a shuffle of bosses, and we get
Oh.
Landro. Landmos. Actually, this is not that bad. This is actually the least offenders, and probably a pretty sure Krithel is letting out a sigh of relief, realizing he doesn't go through any kind of torturous boss fight in this room. This is the worst room to have a boss fight in.
Yeah, too easy. Definitely too easy.
So yeah, maybe a simple shuffle, or it could be because wait, there's 2 Landmos boss fights that I know for sure. One in Ganon's Tower and one in Desert Palace. So I'm wondering if that's the case.
So if we find or the runner find another landmos in this seat, so we have a random boss shuffle. So it could be that Trine X comes 3 times, maybe.
And we get our hook shot from the Bombos tablet. Huge find.
Ooh.
We are about to make some ways of progression here now with more checks, as well as I would like to think they'll be able to do. Well, they haven't made it into. That's what I just realized, that they haven't made it into pot at all. They have the bow. I wonder why they haven't done it yet. But yeah, this is a welcome sight, because then this will allow them to do Hookshot Cave.
Yeah. And I'm excited to see what is in there. A mirror shield. Ooh. Rupees. And a piece of heart.
That is rather unfortunate that only the beer shield was there. Like, that upsets me.
And we need Quake to open Turtle Rock. So, we need the mirror, or we need the mirror definitely for Swamp Palace. And with the mirror, we can enter easily Turtle Rock from the other side, so we can jump in the light world down and take the mirror to go back to the dark world and enter Turtle Rock and go back through Turtle Rock to the beginning. So it isn't easy.
And Krithel retracing the steps of Ray, getting the book, hopefully getting to the part where they go to desert, and then they just go like, hey, we get all of our goodies from there, as well as clearing a dungeon, especially the hook shot. So hopefully that'll be the case after they make their way up top to finish checking other stuff.
So we haven't any information. Where is the hammer?
Where is the hammer?
We still need it.
What checks have we not covered yet so far between these 2 runners that would lead to hammer? Because I feel like it's definitely in pod at this point now.
Ice Palace, maybe?
Ice Palace is definitely a thing. Krithel does have the flippers, but that's out of logic. Those were in
Mr. Meyer,
was it really in Misery Mire?
we can enter it.
Oh, we can enter it in Misery Mire. Yeah, we can. We most definitely
So
can.
we can't open the big chest or visit the boss, but every other chest we can reach. So we have a fire source.
I think Zor was already checked. No, wait, no, it wasn't checked.
No.
Because by the time Krithel was doing Zor Lake, he did not have enough rupees to do it. And he's the only one with flippers. I think flippers is in pod. It was in the big chest. I remember it now.
Yeah.
So unless Ray goes into pod and starts clearing that out, we probably won't be able to see the Zora check. Krithel gets the hook shot, so pretty sure they're very enthusiastic about getting that, as they're going to make their way to clear out the dungeon of Desert Palace.
And reach his next crystal. So Ray got his third crystal?
Fourth crystal.
Fourth?
Oh, wait, third crystal. You're right. I'm sorry.
Uh,
I was looking over the tracker and I see like 3 bosses highlighted. It's like, okay, this is their fourth crystal, right? Oh wait, no, they're in the third boss. But yeah, it looks like they are now going into Misery Mire.
I knew it.
So without the big key, they can do some checks, but the question 6 checks. Yeah, 6 checks. That's actually Disney wise, this is not a bad idea to do. But without the big key, you can't really clear it. Who knows? Maybe the big key is in here. For all we know, with how the big keys are shuffled.
That would be a funny thing if he found if he will find the big key in Misery Mire, so he can clear it directly.
As we get from our first chest over here, we get a small key and another small key. We're going to pick those 2 up. Hopefully the bridge key will have our Godmire.
It would be funny, but it is just a small key.
Well, it was a key, but it wasn't it wasn't big enough.
So now we see the main chest. Or he go directly.
Well, he has to lower the pegs first in order to get to that chest, but more likely than not, he's going to check the other 2, which
fire locked.
Yep,
the fire locked chests. Yeah, 20 rupees.
Oh man, this game just loves to tease, doesn't it?
So he can pay Sora twice if we want. So the cutscene chest and Krithel on his blind fight here in desert. So it wouldn't be a big problem for him.
And we get from the big key chest a map. That's actually disgusting.
Huh? He have still 2 chests in there. He can check. Maybe there is something he wants.
I was gonna say 3, but then I realized he doesn't have the big key, and I was like, oh god.
Yeah, that's right. the big key of this
Oh!
dungeon.
Who would have thought?
That's funny.
Who would have
Ah.
thought? Ha ha ha! Very
Great.
funny scene.
So,
Very funny.
so he can clear Mr. Maya complete with all chests. Can go directly back to the boss room. It couldn't be
Thanks,
better.
Steve. I hate it. I hate it a lot.
It couldn't be better for him. Get his fourth crystal, and so
And
his first red crystal.
Exactly. Yeah, I was just gonna comment that they did. This will be the first red crystal too. So all they need to do after this one is pod, and we still need to look for the hammer for that one.
Oh, I see Ray.
Oh, it's totally a Godmire if it's if it was cross keys, big keys.
Huh? So, which boss we will find in there?
I would like to think it'll be Trinex, and if it's Trinex, I hope Ray still has the green potion.
No. He used it.
Oh man.
As you remember,
Yeah,
at the start.
Oh no.
Yeah, it could be a problem, but
Fingers crossed. Oh, it's Mothium. We can just. This is the best place. Well, second best place because the slime is covered, and you still gotta navigate. And you can just beat this moth up senselessly and then be done with it.
Using the cave was the best thing he could do.
And there's our blue mail.
There's a blue mail.
And I just not realized it, but our buddy Krithel has decided to go to Ice Dungeon. So we're gonna see where all those items are at, and we get a map. The first one. At this point, I just like to think that this seed is just rude.
The flippers are here in pot. Rays of the directly way to them.
Yeah, he's gonna probably clear out most, if not all, of the dungeon, and then gonna leave because he does not have the hammer, meaning he will have to do a little bit of more extensive looking in order to get to it. But with those flippers that allow him to access the Swamp Palace, and that has some good item destiny checks that he could do.
Krithel could be a problem, so if he won't find a small key in the 2 chests he can reach, so he has to save and quit.
All right,
to get back,
because he doesn't have hammer to get the key,
or die.
Ew.
So he has to die the death warp and go back to the start and
do it
the normal way.
The worst way. Everyone hated this way. Hey, everyone hates this way.
Especially if you have the Cane of Samaria to do the icebreaker.
Like, oh hey, I get to do icebreaker, and the game just says no, you can't. No, you don't. You ain't got hammer. Go back to the entrance. You're gonna do it the long way, like any other civilized person would.
So Ray hurt you and go all the way back to through pot, back to the start.
Not having mirror at all sucks in this situation. Now, there's one thing that Krithel did in this dungeon, and I think Krithel skipped the big key chest in this area, and I'm not sure if it was just a key or not. I don't remember.
It is still possible the hammer is an ice palace. So let us surprise.
Man, the race boils down to who can find the hammer first at this point. Okay, if I was Ray, I would hammer you up and then just save the key to finish the rest of the dungeon with.
It is a good idea. So if he will find the hammer, he can go immediately back to Pot, to the boss.
Granted, if there's the flippers, but granted, if they find another key in Dark Maze, I think they should go to the big key chest just to double check it. Just to double check it. Which they did not. So yeah, that's just we're leaving from here. We're out.
So Ice Palace?
Ice Palace.
F nothing.
Tea slime. That's rather unfortunate. So yeah, it looks like we are going to have to, just beat. We can't clear this dungeon, can we? We do have the big key. You just need another small key. Oh, there's the key to Tower of Hera on the island of Hyrule Lake.
Yeah. We need a hammer to clear Ice Palace and the mirror in the big chest of Ice Palace.
Hallelujah! We got a mirror!
That is a surprise.
That is a surprise that I think that they really appreciate at this point. Because now they can go to Swamp Palace once they go ahead and just
yeah, Swamp Palace
do all those checks there.
Has 10 chests to check with the big key, so it makes sense to go early.
Gonna check the side of the pyramid first, and that's a Quake Medallion. We picked those up just in case we need to get into Total Rock, but I don't think that's the case anymore. Okay, the first few chests in Swamp Palace, I feel like Hammer is there, and that's why I feel like I just feel like with this seed being rude, Hammer is there for some reason.
So, Krithel has defeated Aga, so he can use the Aga portal to reach Swamp Palace faster than Ray if he want to go to the first chest or the second chest in this case to check, but I don't know if it makes sense this check early.
And as we saw from Ray, Big Zora, like Kingfish, just scams us once again, effectively, just ruins our day. And yeah, I agree. Pet is dead.
Oh,
no! Oh no!
That is very, 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 very bad for Ray.
What is the
Hammer
likely?
on green pendant is
That is
boah.
the worst kind of situation. This
It
is
made me speechless. Definitely speechless.
ugh,
What this is where.
this is not good at all. Because if you're
That
thinking
that that
nothing
that
of progression is in Skull Woods or
that yeah, but that means Krithel is in go mode. So I see.
with in 1 hour and 13 minutes. But yeah, that is just a shocker.
So I would say Ray will leave the green pendant a long time behind. So first he check Turtle Rock first, or the first chest in Swamp if they reach the mirror. So I don't think that he goes immediately or in the next time
He's
to Skull Woods for the green pendant.
Yeah, as someone pointed out in chat, getting a Titan's Mint early in Skull Woods this way may have hurt him a little bit more than he would in the long run, because this he may not feel obligated to clear Skull Woods. He's probably gonna check every other place first to exhaust all of his checks before going to it.
He hates to do pendant dungeons first. He checked other places first. I know, so he needs lots of time to find out. And Viti in Ice Palace. That is a
Probably.
funny thing.
Oh
And oh
no!
no,
I was gonna say probably
that
the least offensive place Vic can be in, but still the could be worse. And then yeah, I kind of forgotten that Krithel is on Greenmail still, so he took a lot of damage and ended up dying. So I like to think they're gonna run that back, but gonna be a little bit more careful this time. I mean, they do have bow and arrow. If they want to, they can very well just start using it at the
he
fight. I feel like if you're in this situation, that as well as the cape will be your go-to for this fight instead of just trying to just save your resources. You might as well, if it's Vic, you might as well start spending those resources now to clear out that to finish cleaning up the dungeon. There is no point in to just hold
he
off on
can he can use the cape for Ritty and save some magic if he takes the sword. Sword slides saves magic, so he doesn't need so much magic in this case. He can take the cape, he can stand in front of Ritty and just take his sword to put him down, and the magic is enough what he has
Yeah,
now. So that wasn't so unnecessary. So to die there.
but yeah, looks like he's gonna take another swing at it. Hopefully, he'll realize the rich resources that he have to finish the fight without having to risk it in that such manner, which I hope is what he's gonna do. Like, gonna switch to his cape and start going ham. I hope. There we go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, but
Just take your sword and the magic.
okay, there we go. He oh wait, no, now he's run out. But
Uh,
then he has the bow. And this is what you're supposed to be doing whenever you fight
no.
it. But you're not
That
supposed to be at his side. Like in this case, you're not
no.
supposed to be at his side ever.
Uh,
Like it is hazardous to do it that way.
yeah. Now.
And now he can just spam his arrow shots and kill him instantly. There we go. There we go. This is what you're supposed to be doing.
Add shots you need for the big eye of Witty.
And thankfully enough, he moves in a way where it's predictable enough where you could just keep spamming it. So not only that he will never reach to you, he will end up dying trying to run to you.
So this is what I said. Ray, go to Turtle Rock. Check Turtle Rock, all the chests he can reach to find the hammer.
Making full use of the lag shield, as we some would call it.
Black shield?
Two keys, a mail, and I'm just gonna go straight into the fight. For the looks of it.
I would say that is brave.
Now he could deplete all of his magic to. That was a misinput direction from there from what I've noticed. He could deplete his magic and fake powder one of the anti fairies in order to get a fairy to have some health, but it looks like the fight we're going to have is some clouds today. Okay, no, this is fine.
Yeah.
He's naked it all.
Oh.
Ah, dear.
I could imagine that he definitely thought there was Trinix in there. So Trinix in this case would be easy for him to clear. But Cold Stare isn't an easy boss to defeat, so yeah.
Well, yeah, Cold Stare is a little bit difficult to deal with, but if you can get him in a corner and keep whacking away at them, it's hard to explain it, but it relies on where you do your spin slash and then just keep him isolated in the corner. If you can do that much, then again, this fight will be a breeze.
In this case.
And we get picked up 50 rupees for his troubles, and he's just gonna sigh in dismay as we get in the Dark Dungeon, Armos, and where Helmsword would be at. And this will be his
this
second
is a gift.
This is pretty great, because this means now that all he needs to do is Misery Mire, and we already know who's at Misery Mire. And he's just on his way to finish the rest of this dungeon. The rest of this game, I should say. Just needs to find the big key to Ganon's Tower. Oh wait, did he? Oh wait, no, that's okay, yeah. They already got it. I forgot. Yeah, Tracker, thank you very much for highlighting that. Speaking of which, do give our racers a follow on their respective channels, as well as my commentator with me, Koval, our restreamer, Amareth. I have very, very bad pronunciation today. And our tracker, Shipro, who is doing us the great work of pushing those buttons and keeping us informed of what our runners got.
So I have to thank you in this time for my first commentary here in the English language and here in the league. I am so excited to do this, and yeah, I hope my English knowledge wasn't too bad for this.
Well, if I have to say, it's pretty spot on. Like, you get better at it within like doing it over and like within experience, as I would like to put it. And the chat agrees. Your English is good.
Oh, thank you, and thank you for and thank the community.
So now that we have both runners, Ray is desperately looking for the hammer and not gonna. It's gonna soon enough realize it's gonna be back at Skull Woods with the green pennant turning. Krithel is on his way to just go moding. Well, Krithel is in go mode, so he's gonna go straight to the boss on this one.
And finish the game as fast as he can. So, what will Ray do? Will he forfeit it, or will he finish this game?
I feel like
well.
I feel like I feel like if he I feel like if he's not looking at the race time room to see if Krithel had finished, he'll probably end up finishing the seed, or if it gets long enough to a point like, say for instance, like 140, while he's still looking for the hammer, he may end up taking a peek to see if Krithel finished and probably forfeit from there, because he'll probably have exhausted most, if not a lot, of the checks before going into Skull Woods.
Yeah, I agree.
So from here, we will see a diver down on this side of the dungeon. I'm going to assume that Krithel is looking for silvers at this point, or a male, in order to make the Ganon fight much more tolerable.
Okay.
Because there's no point in going into Swamp Palace left side unless you are really, really looking for.
So you definitely don't need silvers or the gold sword to defeat Ganon. So you don't need GT.
Oh, okay. As someone pointed out, Krithel may be looking for Misery Mire Key.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Ray found it in the dungeon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. That's right.
So instead of it being go mode, we're in no mode.
He...
We know where the big key is at, but they don't. Well, Krithel doesn't, and that can make this game even longer if Krithel does not decide to go into Misery Mire after going to Swamp, or at the very least.
So the funny thing is, Ray is going back to Skull Woods to get his green pendant earlier than I thought, and it could be a nice race at this point.
We may have this race where we felt like there's going to be a huge gap in may end up being close again because of this. But that is depending on if Krithel, after he finishes, goes to Misery Mire, while Ray turns into Green Pendant.
So Ray only needs the hammer for go mode to clear 3 dungeons. So if he will have his hammer, he will go mode every dungeon he need to do. So he mustn't he mustn't look for a key in
As
this
we get
time.
in Swamp, we get another blind fight, so I think this is simple. You said it was Simple Shuffle that will have this, right?
Yeah, it could be. So you have 3 bosses who comes 2 times and every other 1 times. So I thought it is a simple shuffle. Yeah, that's right. So Krithel with his 6th crystal and still looking for the big key of Mire.
Gonna go
And
into Death Mountain. More likely gonna check Turtle Rock in the Hookshot Cave.
I don't know if we want to go to Turtle Rock. So he wasn't in Misery Mire yet?
Yeah, he has not stepped foot into Misery Mire yet. So more likely than not, he's gonna go into Turtle Rock. He's gonna go into doing that.
Ray,
Ray is
green pendant.
you have the
Give
green
it
pendant.
back.
Turn it in. Turn it in.
That could be your chance to win this game. Now.
You know
Bring
what?
it back.
He's probably routing in purple chest just to be sure. And I can understand the sentiment of not isolating some of these checks, but you can just go to green and you just go turn into green pendant immediately, then go do whatever other light world overworld checks there is. But yeah, it looks like he's running towards to Sarah now, and the moment he finds that hammer, he's probably gonna start panicking, gonna start not full clearing, but like go moding the rest of these dungeons in order to finish the game now. While Krithel still looking for Misery Mire key, not gonna probably miss out on the fact that Misery Mire key is in its vanilla location, which is hilariously horrible.
So Krithel will go completely through Turtle Rock, do all checks who Raid did. So that costs so much time for him.
Especially if he's full clearing Turtle Rock as Ray gets his hammer, and finally at 1 hour and 31 minutes, we do have a runner in legit go mode. And it's only a matter of time for Ray to just finish the rest of this up.
So he go immediately directly to the boss room. Will finish this dungeon immediately as fast as he can. So I can imagine that he think at the moment that better to say he wondered why the opponent doesn't finish yet.
Yeah, but from the looks of it, I would like to think that how long will you think it'll take for Krithel to realize that he should just go to Misery Mire at this point? Because you still got Tower of Hair, which is also a pendant as well. He may end up doing that after Turtle Rock.
Yeah. But it would be his last possibility to check. Maybe.
Yeah, I feel like not having, because you could definitely go into Misery Mire to dip into, and it won't be a huge loss if you don't find anything else in there. What would be the like? It's really hard to like pinpoint it because in this late of the seed, where you're literally just looking for Misery Mire key. Would you feel like Misery Mire key would be in his vanilla location?
Yeah, that's right.
As Ray just finishes up his fight in the Palace of Darkness, we have our second red crystal, and all he needs to do now is swamp an ice palace, and he is good to go into diving into the big hole in Ganon's tower. I mean, big hole in the Hyrule Castle to fight Ganon.
So first, Ice Palace to clear.
I don't think he knows if what's on Ped. I don't think he has checked
No.
Ped. So he could be assuming that Big Key is on there, which is probably partly the reason why he is doing Turtle Rock Dungeon, and that is a decent assumption to so this as one would put it, so to say. But we know it's not like the right the right decision to do. Plus, it's a huge a huge blah, 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 huge time sink in order to finish two ped dungeons to pull, especially if you have not checked the what's in the whatchamacallit. But it looks like he's going into dipping into Hera now. So more likely he's just gonna check
Where?
and then
First Ether Tablet.
we're still looking for silvers, so I'll be in a bottle. The gods have graced us with a bee in a bottle, so isn't it even a good bee though? Like I don't think it is. I think that was just a normal bee.
So what we will see here in Hera, just a hard container. And a small key.
I'd probably do the hair clip just to skip everything else. Oh, okay. That
Ooh.
was scary. He almost locked himself, soft locked himself out of the dungeon, well, out of the game, to be honest.
So Hera.
Man, that's a map. And the big chest, we get a compass. Thank you. We hate that very much. I don't know why you do this to us, Seed. I mean, we already know what our go mode item is, but could you at the very least give our buddy Krithel some silvers at the very least to go on from? Like, just help him out, please.
I don't think so. Oh, Cold Stare! The second time.
Wow. Cold stare again. But Ray doing a very, very fun strat to dash into the eyeball after clearing out the rest of them for the dungeon, and he is going to be on his way into Swamp Palace to finish that up. Meanwhile, Krithel is dealing out the damage and going to finish his fight on Cold Stare on top of Hera. Hopefully, he does not fall. Thankfully enough, the ice stops falling. 10 arrows is what we get, and he is just probably going to leave. All right, Krithel, where are we going to next? Will you be up? He's going to take a coffee break from the looks of it. And I guess I don't blame him. He's gonna take a moment to recollect his thoughts, which is fine. But he's gonna probably realize that he should dive into Misery Mire now after clearing that dungeon. I feel like he shouldn't go. He shouldn't even like put a thought into going into. Oh well, never mind. Coffee break just turned into work time as he now has to actively dodge and slash up all the tiles in this room. This is.
I think he thought he did need a coffee break, so
Yeah, he needs
he
to.
want to be active, so he's a little bit nervous, I think.
Needs to work out his nerves, which is understandable. Especially where you're like desperately looking for the big key to the last dungeon that you need to go to. We get the butter sword. Okay then. I guess that's just a game. Fine. Give us the butter sword. We could just fine.
So, Gretel, what are you doing now?
It looks like he's going to. I like to hope that he's not gonna go. Well, it looks like he is gonna go back to. It looks like he's gonna go back to Turtle Rock at this point, and
First Mimic Cave for the chest, but 20 rupees. Yeah,
no dice.
this is what he need.
If we're doing a blind pool, if it comes to the point where we are going to do a blind pool, okay, it looks like he's going to check ped. This is at the very least the second smart thing you do. Like before you even bother going in to finish the last like dungeon, you're just going to check pedestal, see if it's required. If it's not, then you just move on with your life. You go ahead and check Misery Mire. Because everything else has nothing unless you're going to do purple chests, which I guess that's okay. Purple chest as well as oh jeez.
The Smith want in this game go back. So with the mirror is definitely easy, but easier to bring it back, like the way who Ray used. So take the purple chest and check it out, and then I hope he will go to Mire.
Hopefully he'll dedicate going to Mire with the purple chest check. I would like to think he'll do that. He wouldn't do. He wouldn't think at all to like go elsewhere if he's gonna do purple chest.
Hammer packs.
Meanwhile, Ray gets his last crystal and is making a beeline to the hole of Hyrule Castle to confront Ganon and to finish the rest of the seed. But yeah, I would like to think Ray is not going to go into Ganon's into Ganon's tower. This will be ridiculous. They'll be really silly to do Ganon's tower.
No.
It makes no sense.
He wouldn't. Definitely he wouldn't. He fall in this hole and go to the big pig.
And now we are in our first Ganon fight for this seed, which may be the deciding factor.
I know commentaries.
Dashing. Thankfully enough, he has red mail, so he doesn't take too much damage from the Firebirds and Ganon itself compared to blue mail. It still does a
So,
bit of damage, though. You have to be careful.
so
Meanwhile, Krithel, where are you going?
he shouldn't fall down in this case.
Hopefully he doesn't fall. I like think,
Ah,
of course, of, of course, of course the silver arrows are in his tower, as the chat has successfully predicted. But seemed like our buddy Ray is not going to worry about it, doing some triple spins on the big boy
yeah.
and successfully doing another set of triples. He is going to get this fight down in no time if he keeps up this pace. Yeah,
He played so many seeds in the past. He trained it so hard.
and
To
down
do the
goes the
dribbles.
big pig. This is amazing.
And now the bridge. Don't fall down.
Everybody prepare your GGs for Ray
And
as he finished with a time of 1 hour, 44 minutes, and 6 seconds.
GG Ray 07.
He has successfully cleared the mystery seed and has taken a win for missing two bows. Let's see if we can get him in for an interview.
So Ray.
Meanwhile, on Krithil's side, he is going to go to Zora's Lake, more likely doing another check because he didn't have the money for Zora. He's going to check and then ends up getting scammed for it, unfortunately.
So Ray. Would you come?
I think Emerith is getting him into the waiting room, and we're just patiently waiting for him to get settled in before we get started. And we are joined by Ray, who has finished with his race. GG's and congratulations on taking the victory there.
Yeah, hello, thank you.
GG Ray.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
When you ended up going back to Skull Woods to get the green pendant,
Yeah.
and getting hammered, how far behind did you feel in that situation?
I was so for me, I lost the race at this moment. I was pretty sure that I lose this. I don't know. It's very hard to say. It was like there are two things that can happen. Even he makes the same thing like me, and he don't go to Skull Woods because there was one. Yes, it was one item and the green pendant, but for me it doesn't really. I don't know. I don't want to go for it, and I thought maybe he do it the same way, or he do it the other way. So I was like, there's only one hope that he made the same thing. But yeah.
Yeah, it turns out when you was in Skull Woods for the first time, you dipped in a little deeper than Krithel, so you ended up getting Titanman's first before he did.
Yeah.
Krithel ended up getting the gloves and then leaving after that, and he didn't dip into the back half part. So
Okay.
he had it took a bit of time for him to get his before doing that. But when the time he was doing that, that's when he finished the rest of Skull Woods, ended up getting his hammer. And I think that think that was after I'm trying to remember because I think at that time he was like ahead by 2 crystals when he did that, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
But yeah, this seed was kind of, it wasn't completely bad, but it was definitely on the weird side in this case for a mystery, especially with Big Key being in its vanilla location in Misery Mire.
Well, I was like, okay, do you go Pod or Mire? I had these two things to do, or Skullwoods, but Skullwoods was really not a thing for me. But I was thinking about going Skullwoods and then go to Pod. But then I think, no, let's just do Misery Mire. And there was nothing in Misery Mire but the big key. But I didn't really think about that. I was thinking a short moment, maybe he's gonna last locating it. And I think that is what happened in this seed. So,
Yeah. The big key in Misery Mire was kind of the deciding factor because Krithel held off on going into Misery Mire to begin with because he was looking for the big key from there.
Okay. But I don't know if you are like a big key away from go mode. I think you have to go there. It's just
Plus,
you have
it's not that punishing to dip into a crystal dungeon trying to look for stuff as well. I mean, worst case scenario, you double dip it to get to finish the rest of it off. But yeah, it I feel like for Misery Mire, it's not that punishing to double dip in. Turtle Rock, perhaps, not perhaps, but yes, that's punishing to double dip in because you have to go quite a ways to get to the boss and then some.
Well,
in
inverted, I think Turtle Rock is not that hard to double dip, but or punishing. But yeah, in a normal seed, you're totally right there. If you can't save the portal, it's really punishing, and it's a long way to go there.
Yeah, that's one thing I would like to mention too. Like this is like my first time watching like Inverted Seed being in play. So there was a lot more tricks and stuff up the sleeve that y'all pulled that I was not familiar with, but got to see and learn from. And I think that's like pretty great. That this particular C type, like this inverted, allows you to do different things that normally you wouldn't be able to do in normal seed at all.
Yeah, that's inverted is really crazy sometimes. I was in the beginning. I was so confused about that activated flute. I don't know. I really it took me a really long time to even recognize that it is activated. I was like, okay, we have a flute.
Yeah,
I know it is activated because I read it, but I forget about it, and I was like, fuck, I did I miss something? And then I hover over the flute with this quick swap, and I was like, okay, let's just flute. Maybe it's activated. It was activated. It was like, oh god, you're so dumb. And
yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
But it happens. The good thing about it, having flute at the very start, it allowed y'all to have access to a few areas to check out and not feel so locked out or linear wise. Is like you have like a few more areas to open up going through that. So
yeah, I know. I mean, I know inverted, but with flute, it was new for me. And yeah, I really forgot about like going pot with flute is a thing. Going Misery Mire with flute is a thing. Was so many things I forgot about that. But yeah, at least it went out pretty well for me because of very much luck. I think that he didn't go to Mire. Well, yeah.
Speaking of Krithel, though, he just finished doing Misery Mire and now is diving in to the hole to fight the Ganon himself. He ended up picking up the golden sword, and that was located at the Tower of Hera. He ended up dipping into that as well in hopes of finding the Misery Mire big key. So once it shouldn't take him that long to finish, especially with Gold Sword. And we are now joined by him. And then at that, I forgot about the delay, but yeah, he definitely finished it in no time. If that's the case, thank you for joining us. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. I'm looking at this wrong. Krithel is not in this. That was our restreamer coming back to the channel. I need to pay attention to my chat sometimes, but yeah, that's my fault. But shouldn't take them that long to finish and getting the information that Silvers was in Gadnus Tower. Looks like he's gonna do the same thing as well. Hopefully getting triple spins on him. Thinking about it now, how many spins would it take for Golden Sword to defeat Ganon at this point? Was it like 8 or was it 10?
12 spins you need.
Okay, 12 spins. Okay.
Like the tempered sword. So it make no difference if you have tempered sword or gold sword. You still need 12 spins.
It's just the early phases, it'll take a lot quicker with the Gold Sword. Okay. And
no. The first two.
The first
things you make difference. The in this case, but not the fourth.
And with a time of 1 hour and 54 minutes and 50 seconds, Krithel has finished his run of the Mystery Seed as he has joined us now. Thank you very much for that race. Good work out there.
Thank you very much. GG, right?
And GG.
Yeah, GG.
GG. So, what were your thoughts on that seed, Krithel?
I mean, I was really hoping not to see inverted in this.
Yeah, this time took me by surprise too when I saw inverted being the thing today.
Yeah, I've done one inverted with Flute Start, and I just don't know the routing for the opening, so it went better than the one practice I've done, so I can't be too unhappy.
Yeah, you did pretty well on it. The thing that held you up the most probably was the big key from Misery Mire, unfortunately.
Wow.
And that was like the deciding factor there because I think Ray, when he dipped into Misery Mire, he went ahead and full cleared the chest from there and ended up with the big key from there being in the vanilla location, but not in the vanilla chest. But other than that, you did pretty good effective routing for the most of the seed there.
Yeah, the Aga play at the start kind of threw me when I went into Skull later and found the mitts, which is why I ended up doing Green Pendant earlier than I normally would have to get the hammer, because I would have left that until after TR, but I wanted Skullwoods to pay off in some way.
Yeah, that's understandable. Like, I was just about to ask that, like, when you went into Skullwoods and finished that up, were you feeling like you was behind after finding the Titan Smiths from there? And when you went to Saha Hut, I think after, well, it wasn't directly after the Green Pendant, but you did another dungeon before. Yeah, it was a while later.
I had mirror, so when I got the mirror from ice, from my hammerless dip into ice, I decided to do a big loop of light worlds and just get all the awkward checks that were still left, rather than going up the mountain. And so that started with Green Pendant, which gave hammer, which stopped me from doing that loop in the end. But yeah.
Yeah, outside of Skullwoods having not only the hammer and Green Pendant award, but both mitts, didn't seem like any other pendants had anything else for progression wise. But I think that's
Nope.
that's either that's either good or a bad sign, depending on how you look at it. But what
Yeah, I
were
mean, I
y'all
messed up
overall?
my room.
Yeah,
Sorry.
what were y'all overall? What's your overall thoughts on this seed? Like any closing remarks to this one?
No, it was an interesting one with the inverted flute start. I think is at least I find pretty interesting. There's a lot more you can do in the opening. You know, I think Maya. I could have gone to it any time. I was trying to avoid it because the big key lets me go mode it. Whereas normally, if it was a normal seed and the big key was in there, I'd probably just have done it anyway. But with the big key go moding, it made it less attractive, which is a shame. But that's how it is.
And you, Ray?
Oh, I don't know. That was
Well, I don't think I have any other further questions. Do you have any questions for our runners, Koval?
Yeah, one for Ray. You checked pot last, so first you prefer to go to Death Mountain in the bunny state for all other checks.
Yeah,
So
the problem is that's what I said before. I'm okay with inverted and I know inverted, but the flute was just I don't know. The flute fucked my brain a little bit up in the beginning.
all right, yeah.
Never played like flute start inverted, so yeah.
Yeah, that's everything on my list. Everything else you asked for me.
Oh, okay. Well, with that said, do give our runners a follow on their respective Twitch channels. Also, give my co-commentator Koval a follow too. Amaranth, our re-streamer, Shippo, our tracker, as they've done tremendously great work today covering this race for us. Though, with that all said and done, I do believe it's time for us to wrap up. There is more races to be had here. You can always take a look at the Link to the Past Randomizer League schedule list for all your races that are happening today. We have quite a bit of showings for more mystery mayhem. And if you like what you see today, stay tuned for today for even more races, especially in the invitationals. They are doing fantastic work there as well. And once again, I'm your commentator, Esper Hub, with co-commentator Koval. This has been a Link to the Past Randomizer League Mystery Week race between Ray07 and Krithel. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time.
See ya.